Yo, what's happening? All right, we're making this quick today because, the Rangers game is starting as we speak, and I have to go watch my team get stomped by the Bruins. So, we're going to keep this short and sweet. Today's show is awesome. There is not a whole lot of baseball or basketball today, but a whole lot of hockey and quite a bit of football, too. So, let's get to it. What are you listening to? Don't be like that. Good for you.
It's like my band's kind of electric-y.
Okay.
Rolls in his ass. Hold on.
All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I am your host, Bert. With me as always, I have my co-host, Dubs. Say what up, Dubs.
What the fuck is up?
And Meech. What up, Meech?
What up? Oh man, 3 minutes left to see if the Oilers fuck me or if they don't fuck
What's the
me.
score? What's the score?
Well, what I care about is over/under. I bet the under 6.5, so 7.
I've been unders in
It
Oilers
is-
games.
It is 6 right now with 3 minutes to go. Hanging by a
Yikes.
cliff. You know, because the percentages are good.
what's the
I don't
score,
get
though?
emotional when
Score
gambling.
7-1.
Just look at percentage.
Oh,
It's
okay.
7-1?
It's 7-1, bro.
Oh, fucking NHL app doesn't fucking update ever. God damn it.
All
Yeah,
right.
you got to
Hey.
refresh that shit, dude.
Oh my god.
Meech's bet is dead due
It's
to
a
the
good thing I've won
refreshing.
200 on blackjack today.
Yeah, it's 7-1.
You're a goddamn degenerate.
You are a degenerate.
Hey, it's not a degenerate if you're winning. I had $70 in my account
No,
after I got
it
fucked
is.
a couple days ago. Up to 800 again. We're fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Somebody at the bar is like, what's the score on the Loyola Marymount game? Meech's like, I don't know, but the over's fucking 166.
Yeah. No, 166.5. Just don't hit that 167. We're good, bud.
The Kings are beating the Ducks. Well, I guess that's no surprise. The Ducks suck. We'll get to all that later. All
We
that
lost
later.
to them the other day, though, and we shouldn't
Yeah,
have. So,
I mean, it happens, man.
and we have a goalie who started, I think, 3 games in his NHL career.
Oh,
6
we're gonna
games,
we're gonna
something
get to
like that.
goalies and starting when we get to hockey because I
Oof.
got a lot to say about the Rangers and what they're fucking doing. Anyway, let's
Georgiev.
start it today with I guess Double. Probably I don't have a name for this segment yet, but Double normally has some ridiculous news he wants to share before we get into the sports news of the world. So you got anything like that today?
So, yeah, I got an Iowa man set a Guinness World Record. I clicked on the article. The first 2 words of the article, it was a name. That name, David fucking Rush. He's back. David Rush, you will know him from Stone Sports feature Chuck and D's, the David Rush story.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was fuck is this?
I'm already composing the music.
Back from,
I
like,
just ripped off
episode-
the score of Jurassic Park.
I think that was from the Bergeron episode.
It might have been.
But
But
anyway, David Rush, back in the Stone Sports news.
Woo.
Another broken record, 150 to his total. David Rush is a decorated record breaker.
Yeah, he's one
On
of those
second
guys that just goes
inspection.
around trying to break world records. Like I saw
Jesus.
like a
Yep.
documentary about those guys on YouTube one time.
So yesterday he broke the record for passing a giant volleyball 6.5 feet. He did it 4,000 times. That's an easy fucking record.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's a bullshit record.
We can't make a movie about that one.
No, the Chuck and D's, that's an epic one. We had a story to it. It's gonna
I
make
mean,
fucking
4,000
millions.
times. Like, you have to think about it. How long? How did it say how long that
Yeah.
lasted?
How long that
It
took
didn't,
him?
but it said him. It took a day because it said he just like went next door, knocked on his neighbor's door, and they like went and did it.
I was gonna say that has to be like a long period of time.
But what is David Rush's life? He just wakes up, Googles a world
he's
record.
my
he's like,
fucking
I'm gonna
personal
do this
hero,
today.
apparently.
I
Yeah,
feel like he's probably
but-
very alone and desperate
Listen.
for approval.
This is
Hey, man.
probably, but this is how we get him on the show. We start breaking his records. And then he's got to reset the record. And then eventually we
could
get
just
him on the show. And we film this fucking 30 for 30.
Or we could just reach
Well,
out to
I don't
him
think
and
we can
interview
call
him.
it a
I'm
30
sure
to
people
30.
aren't.
No,
dying
Birdie,
to
we
interview
gotta do
David
this.
Rush.
We got to do this in a very underhanded and like tactical,
Convoluted way.
Yeah,
The Stone Sports
we have to do way more work than what it's actually worth.
Fair enough.
Original. That's
For
our new
real though, we
original
probably should
content.
try to interview him because that would be fucking amazing.
David Rush, hit us up.
Yeah, let's go. Come on the podcast. So let's do baseball. Take it away.
Yeah, not much this week. Texas Rangers announced that they expect to be at 100% capacity. Bold, but their governor did lift the mask order and all that shit. Texas is basically, I mean,
You said that like that
back to
Always
normal.
Sunny episode where they're trying to get in the pool and the pool attendant is like, "Sir, we are at capacity."
what does at capacity mean? They're just at capacity for us.
The way you said capacity, you said it just like that, dude. Sorry.
What was the name of the kid that drowned in the pool?
Oh, Jamie Nelson?
Jamie. Yes, Jamie Nelson. We're gonna die down here with Jamie Nelson.
Alligator snakes, bears.
Every time
We
you
just
guys
no
have one
idea
of
what
these
we're talking
moments,
about.
I just sit here quietly.
Yeah, sorry,
All the
Meech.
good people will know.
Let's bring Meech back in. Let's bring Meech back in. We'll talk about baseball so Meech can stay in the conversation.
I had a question about the Texans bringing in full capacity. Do they fill that stadium when they can? Like, when they're
40,000. I
Hey-o.
can't tell you. There's 40,000 capacity. I can't tell you one Rangers fan right now. Granted, I'm in the
I've
Northeast.
never met one.
But still, I've never come across a Rangers
even
fan
in my travels,
entire
I've never
life.
met one.
Right.
I mean, it's
Like,
it's
you think you'd
football.
meet
It's
one.
football country out there. I don't know why. Yeah. They just built a brand new stadium despite having one built in the early 2000s. So we'll see. I mean, that's that at the end of the day, I think is why they want it at full capacity. It's brand new. They have to pay that motherfucker off.
Right. Yeah, it makes total sense.
The only other thing I had was last week the Mariners were in the news for comments that their president made to the Rotary Club. This week they're trying to pick up from that, the mess that man left. Did you hear the whole interview, by the way, Meech?
I
sat down and
read
listened to it,
and it was real.
Oh
real
my God,
bad.
I sat down and listened to it. And the guy's like so cocky the whole time he's talking about it. So
Well,
I
told you he shits on like
everybody.
like, at least 12 to 14 players is who he shits on, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And they were all prospects that are like coming up. And then he's
Seager,
like,
too.
Kyle Seager, yeah. It's like Kyle Seager's a great leader. Probably his last year with the team's probably a little overpaid. It's like, why'd you say that? But I heard
Why
somebody
do
that
you
like
say all this?
fucking Rotary
on an
Club membership
open
is way up
interview?
this week.
This is a behind the scenes talk you have with your presidents or whatever.
Right.
This is a boardroom meeting. And
Yeah.
he's just blasting it out on social media, and some of the stuff that was said isn't said in a typical boardroom. I'm just saying this is behind the
It's
curtain kind
inside
of
baseball, if
conversation.
you will.
Yeah, and you're just saying it on a conference call to the Rotary Club. Like
Yeah.
still befuddles me.
Yep. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
The
But yeah,
only thing I
Mariners
had.
trying to pick up after that. They said they put out a
Right.
statement today. They're trying to keep baseball and business separate. Probably a good call after that, but
Well, I read the article and I was like, oh, so like what every other fucking team does? Why
Literally,
did you
I was
have
like-
it so convoluted before?
that's exactly what
Yeah.
I thought. I was like, well, so you're gonna do the normal thing now?
Yeah.
I was like, what does that even
Congrats,
mean?
Seattle.
So I read it and I was like, oh, so they just did things a really fucking weird way.
yeah. Like when
bizarre.
you said that just now, I was
Odd.
like, isn't that like normal?
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Ridiculous. All right. You want to
The
do
only
some?
thing-
Meech, you said you had one thing?
Yeah, the only thing I had, and it's just a fun little story. Orioles knuckleballer. Did you guys see this picture? The
I
slow
did
mo.
not.
No.
Oh my god, it's why you love knuckleballers. The ball is just stationary, floating in the air, and it's just not moving. The seams are steady, and
We
it's just
had-
fascinating.
We had Wakefield for years. I fucking
Yeah.
loved watching him pitch. He had
Dude,
that personal catcher, Doug Mirabelli, and that thing, it was hit or
Baseball-
miss. It was
Oh yeah, he'd either
on
give up
or he's
6
getting
runs
shelled.
or a shutout. Yeah. Yeah, maybe one home run or something like that. But he'd either have an amazing day or a horrible day. But
I just
miss
watched it.
knuckleballers.
That's amazing.
Right? I love
Zero
knuckleballers.
rotation.
There was a fascinating documentary on Netflix about knuckleballers. It's really, I think it's good for the game. I think it's something different. It's so the opposite of spin rate and speed and everything that pitching emphasizes today. It's the opposite of, and it's fantastic. And I think we need more of it in the game. Usually it's pitchers who are kind of past their prime, a little
right,
older,
though,
trying to
Mitch.
turn. Huh?
When I said you're right though, when people like if you're just watching the game with like a casual fan, they see that knuckleball get thrown, they're like, wait, what the fuck was that?
It's a spectacle,
yeah.
dude. And like I said, no, like you said, everyone knew who Tim Wakefield was, dude.
Right.
He would, because you would watch a game and you'd be like, "Oh my God, Wakefield's on it. These guys don't know what's fucking coming at them today. Mirabelli doesn't know what's coming at him today." Like it was amazing.
Veritek was like one of the best catchers in the league defensively forever, and he like refused to catch Wakefield. He's like,
because
nope, not doing it.
It's a mind fuck, and that's what makes it so great. Anyway, just happy to see the Orioles knuckleballer Kyle Janis, who's a 33-year-old pitcher, with that fucking. There's just no movement on the ball. It's crazy to me.
If you're interested in baseball, listening, watch it because it's fucking great.
It's amazing, and it just makes me happy to have another knuckleballer at least coming into the scene, if not a starting rotation.
All right. Well, update real quick. Kings are beating the Ducks now 2-1. So there you go, Meech.
Hey.
Let's do some basketball.
I had money on, but
yeah, not a whole lot for basketball this week because the All-Star break was, occurring. But a couple small things. Not David Aldridge. Wrong basketball person. LaMarcus Aldridge expected to be traded in the next couple of days. The Spurs and him have mutually agreed to part ways. Past his prime, hasn't really played in a lot of games, but could still be a decent piece to a contender. So we'll see how much Aldridge nets and where he ends up.
Yeah, no, I think he could still. He was one of the original bigs who could shoot. Well, in this generation, who could start shooting, mid-range, long-range, a little bit with consistency. So it'll be interesting to see. I think he can help a team.
Yeah, he can still be a solid role player for a team. He's not a star like he used to be, but
it did beg the question though. You have Popovich, as I affectionately call him every time,
Popovich,
and R.C. Buford in San Antonio, and he's long heralded as a great coach and all this stuff, but they haven't been relevant for like 20 years now. Maybe like 10. Like 10.
I mean, they were in the finals in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, so it's been 7 years since they had like.
Yeah, they got a
team. Like they lost Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, and
they had the three, the big three, and then Kawhi turned into that star the last time they went to the finals.
And then he pieced out.
I think I think they expected to build around Kawhi for the future and still be a contender over the next decade after they retired. But when he, got hurt and did the dip, now they've had to kind of reset, and they've gotten a couple pieces, but you're right, they need to find that superstar and that next piece to get them to the next level again.
I mean, they always put up a decent team, I guess, and that could be that. I guess that's where you could say he's an amazing coach because they're still a lot competitive of that is in the West with no names on their team. Maybe it's just I was used to them winning 5 championships or whatever, in the high school, growing up really. But they had the triplets, and so they had all those guys. But yeah, no. So
by the time they're ready to compete, but by the time they are ready to really, really compete again, Popovich might not be coaching still.
Well, that's what he strikes me as a guy who dies coaching. Honestly,
yeah, I think he will too. But
his wife died last year, so I don't know.
R.I.P. Mrs. Pop.
Yeah, I mean that's sad, obviously, but I feel like once you're people close to you go, you're not spending time with family anymore. You're not retiring to spend time with family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. Let's just. Yeah, you're right. I could see him just collapsing.
Because like Vinny, that's why I felt so bad
96.
for Vinny. Yeah, that's why I felt so bad for Vinny. He retired to spend time with his wife and like 15 grandchildren or whatever the hell he has. And then his wife dies. And then Lasorda dies. And then like, so I just feel like if someone dies that's close to you, then and you're a coach, then like, what are you doing if you're not coaching? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Well, we're going to move on to a little bit darker news here. Myers Leonard, Heat Center, is in hot water for using a racial slur on a Twitch stream. Rhymes with bike.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, tough look.
God.
Really tough look. I heard the video like really before it started blowing up. And I was like, oh, yikes. I'm surprised this isn't everywhere. And then like 2 hours later, it blew up.
Yeah.
Gross.
I was like, ooh.
And it's weird because he like stops, like he's thinking about it too. And then you're like, oh, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a bad look. People, I know Julian Edelman like reached out to him. Julian Edelman, Jewish, reached out to him to like basically explain why it was wrong. His statement was like that he didn't know the meaning of the word and all that stuff. I don't know. Either way, he suspended him indefinitely from the team. So we'll see where.
Well, his owner's Jewish, so yeah.
Anyway, like I said, NBA earned edition jerseys. The new jerseys came out for the playoff team. All of the teams that made the playoffs last year. So 16 new jerseys, 8 in the East, 8 in the West. Did you guys have a favorite?
Yes, I did.
Guess
which one it is.
I liked the Raptors.
That's not the one. I like that one too, but that's not the one I'm thinking.
I liked the Raptors a lot, and I think there was one that was sneaky good, and it was the Pacers.
The Pacers was okay. I like the Jazz one a lot.
Ugh, I hated the Jazz.
The Jazz one was
dope.
gross.
It's super old school.
Love
and it's lit.
The fucking Celtics ones, and I just
see that one is just like it's plain Jane.
Yes, Meech. I would have put them third. Honestly,
they look clean. The Celtics one was decent. Look at them, and then the Jazz I really hate nice. Because the Jazz look like the wild backwards jerseys, and I don't know. I don't love that.
I like the Jazz jersey. It's lit.
The Celtics ones I like, Meech, but they're really similar to our regular alternates. That was the only reason I put them down.
But it just looks good. Yeah. Oh, wow, we just like stopped at the same fucking time. It looks good. I like the Raptors too, and then for some reason the Magic, which looks a lot like all the other Magic jerseys that they've ever had, is also very good. But and then I realized I came to like a slow realization that I've always loved the Magic jersey.
I didn't like the Lakers one at all.
I didn't either.
I was like, yeah.
Oh, I actually like the Lakers one too.
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan.
But that's also similar to a jersey they already have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like just like the Celtics jersey, the Raptors one does look cool too.
Yeah, I like the way it's written on there too. It's like real lit.
The Raptors and the Pacers ones looked like throwback, like 90s retro jerseys, which was why I was really drawn to them.
The Reggie Miller Pacers jersey. Although the Raptors don't look like throwbacks.
It looked like that. Yeah, no, they do. They look like the fucking... They don't look like the throwbacks, but they're kind of like an homage to the Carter Raptors.
Raptor on it. Their throwbacks were the ones with the pinstripe. Vince Carter jerseys don't look like that.
I'm not saying they look exactly like them.
They don't look close to them.
They look kind of close.
All right, let's continue in the news, boys.
One is pinstripes. The other one is just solid lines.
Yeah, but it's the colors.
Yeah, it's the colors, Meech.
Okay.
It's not their red and white. It's the fucking purple and the...
It's the colors, Meech.
Yeah.
Okay. They could not look further. I mean, I don't even understand. They look more like the Kings jerseys, dude.
Yeah, all right. I like the Kings jerseys. They've always had pretty good ones. But the NBA, the last thing I had for the NBA was just a quick little All-Star recap. Team LeBron defeated Team Durant. Team 170 to 150. Giannis wins the All-Star MVP. Steph Curry was 3-point champion. No surprise there. Blazers' Anthony Simons wins the dunk contest, and Domantas Sabonis defeated Vucevic in the skills challenge. But like I said, slow week in basketball.
Yeah, it seems to be a slow week in a few things here. So you boys want to talk some hockey now?
Hockey, one of the things that hasn't been slow this week.
Exactly. So I guess we'll talk about the TV deal with ESPN. Which,
you called it, Bernie.
Fucker. I know. I saw that, and I was like, the thing that pisses me off the most about this, fucking Birdie was right. God damn it.
Yeah, me too.
And I guess Fox Sports is just going to air, like, infomercials or something.
Yeah.
They literally
what are
lost
they doing?
everything. I don't know.
I don't know either.
They're going to they're PBA bowling.
I mean, that's
don't talk shit about professional bowling, dude.
Yeah, it gave us one of the best quotes ever.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? I am
Pete Weber, the great.
We should try to interview that dude. I bet nobody's interviewing that guy.
Dude, let's
get an interview.
I bet we could get like 2 hours out of that guy.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I want to do it when I can go to a bar with the guy, though. I'll travel.
All right, I'll get a handy recorder. We'll meet him in some town in a bar, and we'll record it in person.
At a bowling alley.
Yes. We'll do a whole episode bowling with Weber. We're doing it.
The real question is, does Pete Weber have a Twitter?
Right.
How do
if
we
he doesn't,
Pete Weber?
He's got to have an email or something. He's got a manager we could talk to. We're making this happen. It's happening.
We'll pose as a publicist.
Just find out where he lives and go to the bowling alley once a week.
St. Louis.
One of those weeks.
St. Louis. Birdie, you're closest.
Well, I'm not going to St. Louis. So.
Do you want Pete Weber?
I do, but I'm not going to St. Louis.
How do you propose we get him
I guarantee
if you don't go to St. Louis?
If you give me 48 hours, I will find an email that I can email, and we can at least get an answer.
Fucking The Office, bro. Yeah, most of these guys' email is just like Pete Weber at yahoo.com.
I'm going to try that as soon as we're done. Anyway.
He's an AOL guy. There's no way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's an AOL guy for sure. And that's one of the questions we'll ask him. Are you an AOL guy? There you go. The interview's already writing itself, boys. So
if we start off with "Are you an AOL guy?" He's gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, it'll be a wonderful way to set the tone.
You can tell just by saying "You got mail" and seeing if he does anything. If he responds to that, then you know he's got it.
Yeah,
you got mail.
And the people who still have AOL email addresses are a really specific type of person. And I'm not going to say anything negative about them, but they are a specific type of person. I see it all the time at work.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's right, I did it.
Double flies!
That guy's my fucking hero, man. I love that guy. Anyway, going back to the NHL, I thought Fox would go after him. They still can, but the bulk of the contract is with ESPN. Signed a 7-year broadcast deal. They received 4 of those 7 Stanley Cups during that time. Like I said, it is not exclusive, so they can still distribute through other networks, but ESPN will own the bulk.
I mean, the only reason I said it in the first place is because they had a pre-existing relationship with them, so it just kind of made sense. But
you think anybody's covered up selling drugs with that excuse? I just distribute through networks.
There's not really a whole lot of excuses you can use once you've been caught with the drugs.
That's 100% true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, this was kind of off topic. We're going to go back to baseball for a second. The Johnny Damon body cam footage got released. Did you watch it?
Oh, I saw it, but I did not watch it.
No, I haven't watched it either.
He should not have been behind the car. He was
he was 3 times the legal limit.
Absolutely fucking tanked.
Yeah.
He got resisting arrest basically because he just wasn't listening. He just kept turning around and trying to turn around to talk to the cop and be like, no, don't worry. It's everything's fine.
Oh, dude, those videos are so hard to watch though.
And his wife just keeps getting out of the car and he's like, just walk home, honey. Just walk home. It's fine.
My dad got me a breathalyzer when I was younger because, like I said, 21 through 24, I just went out constantly. And he was like, he's a great dad, so he's worried about, me drinking, driving, told me to call, made sure I had a breathalyzer. Anyway, I did not, I blew 3 times the legal limit once. And I can tell you, I consciously was like, I cannot drive. There's no way Meech can drive right now.
This Ryan we speak of.
Yeah, fucking Ryan. This guy can drive right now. I slept
Probably
in my car.
Piece of shit.
I was so fucking sore. It was the worst ever. But I even then looked at the breathalyzer and was like, "Oh, that's a 0.24."
Oh yeah, I've been there many a time. And it is like you can't do anything. Like you shouldn't be allowed to do much of anything.
Usually, I blew like a 0.8 to 0.10, like somewhere in that range. Breathalyzer.
Oh yeah, we used to have one just for fun. We used to kind of compete,
My friend, one of my friends definitely has. Like I've definitely seen one out at parties at my house, but I've never used it.
Yeah, it used to be a fun game.
It was like this was just like a $70 one or so. It was like a good quality one.
Yeah, that's basically what the one my friend has.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Let's get back to hockey. So there's a few injuries in the past couple days. I think the most notable of which are
also.
Yeah.
Gary Thorne, a lot of calls for his return.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He said he would love to have a talk to ESPN.
Oh my God.
That. But as the situation stands, it's not currently in the works.
Oh my God. If that happens, I will be ecstatic. I'll be like a kid again. Like,
and I don't remember watching the NHL a lot, but they played the tone today, and I was like, oh, that's from that? And I was like, oh, okay, I remember this.
Yes, he was the king. Like, he was so ridiculously good, man. Like, he was just phenomenal. And if you actually, I think he does Orioles broadcasts now or something, and I heard a clip.
So no one watches them?
Yeah, I heard a clip one time, and it's amazing, because I can't remember who it is they're pitching to. But he's like, why are we not just walking this guy? Why are we pitching to this guy? Like, that's literally what he says. Like, I love the fact that he's just calling it out. Like, it's so fucking wonderful. But anyway, like I was saying, there's a couple injuries in the last few days that are, to me, really the only ones of significance. I don't know if you have any you think are more significant than this, Dubs, but to me, it's Jack Eichel and Makar are pretty significant injuries.
Alex Pietrangelo as well.
Yeah, that is a pretty big one. The update on Igor Shesterkin is it's nothing major. It is just a groin strain, so he should be back in the next few days, so Rangers fans can rest easy there. And
Thomas Hertl's got COVID.
Huh?
Thomas Hertl's got COVID.
Yeah, that sucks.
Apparently he's got it bad.
That's fucked up, and that sucks. And I wish them well, and I hope they get better. Because COVID is no joke, man. At all. But we're not going to get in. We're going to stick to sports. We're not getting into politics today. I guess we want to talk about Meech and his gambling degeneracy. Is degeneracy a word? I think I made that up. But the point still stands.
Yeah,
Meech.
We're back with Degenerate Daily with Meech. We're going to talk about your hockey gambling.
I feel like this is an intervention because I didn't even see that on the rundown until this very moment.
I know you've been up and down lately. I was just curious how it's...
I was on a hot streak for like 2 weeks, like lost maybe one or two of those bets.
You still ride the Oilers?
No.
Just over-unders?
Well, they started being a favorite, so then their odds started not being better, so I stopped betting on them. So, like, it's like I said, they were my team because they won me like 5 bets at least. So, I mean, I was the last few days have been it's been a wash. I've won one, lost one. But there was one, I think last weekend, I lost, 4 NHL bets. And that was a chunk of change.
Do you have a pick for the people for when will this go up? Friday? Probably not. Too far ahead for you. So do you have a pick for the people for when this goes up? But I was like, probably not because it's Friday. It's gonna be.
Oh no, yeah. You literally shouldn't be looking at odds longer than like.
Yeah, I was thinking this
because anything can happen.
Yeah. Lost track of my days.
And even like today, the Kings goalie didn't pop up until midway through the day.
Right.
Day today on the COVID
midway
list.
Through the day today.
So like that stuff like that is I usually bet same day. Sometimes if I think the odds are going to go down, I'll bet the night before.
Right.
But never longer than that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Well,
gambling advice from Meech.
But today I'm up. I'm up today.
Cool.
Despite losing that game, I'm still.
So there's your daily update on Meech's
degenerate daily.
Yeah, an update on how Meech's life is not falling apart yet, but that may change next week.
We'll get there eventually.
Find out on next week's show. Austin Matthews. You want to talk about Austin Matthews and his 20th goal?
Scored twice. Hadn't scored since February 20th after scoring 18 goals in 18 games. Despite that, the Leafs have still been one of the top teams in the league.
He's also got a wrist injury, though. So that's probably the main reason why he hadn't scored.
Wrists definitely affect shots.
Yeah.
There's, wrist shot.
Yeah, right.
Detrimental.
Yeah.
You should just start taking a lot of slap shots then.
But apparently he's been dealing with it for most of the season. That's what Toronto disclosed. Because, as we've discussed many times before on the show, the NHL is pretty terrible about disclosing injuries. The Rangers are actually normally very good about it. Yeah, like my team's normally really good about it, but a lot of other teams are not. And I never understood why. But yeah, they did disclose that it was a wrist injury and that he'd been dealing with it most of the season. So that could explain I guess you'd call it a slump, but sometimes it just happens to players. They get hot, and like some players are streaky. He's traditionally not streaky, but things change.
Shit changes.
Yeah, shit changes. Shit changes.
Bruins GM Don Sweeney was talking to the media about the trade deadline, and he had some interesting comments. Basically saying that there's not a lot available because there's so many teams that could still be contenders right now, and this season's just so crazy. Here's a quote for him. He said, "We certainly have areas we would like to explore to add, but it's been a challenge. I think things will loosen up because there are teams that will identify themselves as not necessarily in the position they want to be, and some player movement will happen. But moving across the border is difficult with quarantine. I think a healthier group is sometimes dictating how many player transactions will be there." He also went on to acknowledge that we need depth scoring and that we're relying too much on our first line.
Well, there you go. That's what you want to hear, right?
Right.
He knows the problem.
It sounds like he wants to address that problem, but there's not people ready to sell just yet. Because there's not. No, but we're a little far out from this trade deadline still, but these next couple of weeks are going to be crucial in identifying who is a contender and who's
fairly
not.
Competitive right now.
Yeah, they are actually getting more competitive, and that normally happens as the season gets, moving along. I was listening to my favorite New York Rangers podcast, and they had a guy on recently talking about the offseason, and they made some really great points. You actually have a few teams that, like Calgary, who are just in a cap hell. So this offseason is going to be, the Sabres are in a similar situation, but not really a cap hell. They're just so dog shit that they may have to trade Jack Eichel. There's actually quite a lot of potential this offseason for a lot of trades because you've got a lot of teams, with the cap going down and whatnot. And if it's not going down, it's not going up. That they're going to have to sell.
Right.
So it's
especially
going to be
if they're not
go ahead.
Immediately in a position to contend, they're going to have to sell off.
They're going to have to sell, and it's going to be really, really, I feel like a hectic offseason. It's going to be probably a lot of movement. But then again, there probably may not be any because, in my opinion, out of all the owners in professional sports, NHL owners are the dumbest. We've discussed that before. So there's one thing I want to talk about, and then we can get to, anything else. I have a gripe. I have to get this off my chest, guys. The Rangers are doing the dumbest shit ever. I don't know if you've seen any of the games recently, but, Igor, our main goalie, he got hurt, and he's a good goalie. He's out for a week and a half, We have two other goalies. We've got Keith Kincaid, the backup for the Devils years ago, who took them to the playoffs. And then we've got fucking Georgiev. And Georgiev, have you watched him? He cannot stop a breakaway. It's fucking absurd. And they put him in over Keith Kincaid. Then they put Keith in the third period. I'm just, we need to fire our coach. I'm done. We need to fire him. I was kind of defending him because I felt like people were too quick to fire him. But, at this point, decisions like that are dumb as shit, dude. It's just
off with his head.
Yeah. Off with his head, as the Red Queen
I obviously don't watch the Rangers as much as you do, but the few times I have this season, it seems like sometimes Georgiev gets this deer in headlights look.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's like, I don't know why. I also think it's like a little bit of like, not to get too technical here, but it's a little bit of technique. Like, you'll notice on breakaways, like he'll drop his left side. I think he's a left-handed glove, so he'll drop his glove side too low, like not just his glove but his pad too, which leaves his 5-hole open and leaves his fucking glove open. You know, so it's just a mess. And like this coach is just. Hold on, I'm dying.
Beach.
Okay.
Flowers.
Yeah, this
digging,
coach has
buddy.
got to go. Like I'm officially declaring it. Like we have a good roster. I think we need a better coach who can motivate. Like a college coach isn't going to cut it at this point, dude. They need a better coach. All right, I'm going to step down off my soapbox again, and we can continue with the news.
I
for the
don't
rest
know
of
if
the
you need
league.
to paint with a broad stroke there, buddy.
Huh?
All college coaches can do it?
No. I'm saying this, like, a college coach is not going to cut it for this, like, anymore at this point in the rebuild. He's just not cutting it. He's coaching it like it's a college game, and you can't do that. You know?
Right, no.
Like, Mika's not scoring, and he benches him for 10 minutes. It's like, look, I get he's not scoring, but, like, how's he going to score if he's not on the ice at all? Like, you need him to score to get his confidence back. Yeah, like, it's just personally choices I wouldn't make. And one of my favorite quotes about coaching all time was Mike Keenan said, sometimes you make controversial decisions. It's called coaching. And it's like, yeah, that's super fucking true. But like, sometimes the decision is just wrong, bro. Like, that's all I can say. But again, I'm stepping down off the soapbox and we can continue with the rest of the news. So where do we go from here? I think that's filter.
Well, a couple weeks ago, we did a quick little buy sell.
Oh, you want to do that again?
Yeah, I got a few teams.
Okay.
There's been a lot of like we talked about. Things are getting competitive.
Yeah.
Divisions are heating up a little bit, so I wanted to see what teams you guys think are legit or not out of the few.
All right, hold on. Before you start, I have a preliminary question. Are you asking me if I'm buying and selling just on this year?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Go.
St. Louis Blues.
No, I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'll sell on them too, honestly.
I just don't trust it.
That's fair. I'm in the same boat. New York Islanders.
Buy.
Yeah, I think I would buy too.
Like
they have struggled a little bit, but
they're in the conference championship last year.
Exactly.
Too, so
like they have a good roster
in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Barzal is heating up like major right now. And when that guy heats up, like it's look the fuck out. So I would buy on them, as much as I hate to admit that.
Another team starting to get hot, the Hurricanes. Since they've allowed attendance back, I think they're like 6-1 or something.
It's a tough one for me because they have a lot of players I like, but I just don't know. Like, if I had to buy based on them winning a Stanley Cup, I'm still not convinced.
Trocheck has like 13 goals in 8 games or something.
Yeah, like they've got some players that I really, really like and I'm really, really high on, but the goaltending situation I'm not sure about. Like, I don't know. I think
they can make the playoffs. I don't think they can go deep.
I mean, they might. Like we've said before, once you get to the playoffs, it's anyone's game. But
Wild West.
I don't know. I'm not going to buy on the Canes, which may come back to bite me in the ass at a later episode.
No, I'm also not buying that.
Yeah, right.
Minnesota Wild.
Buy.
Meech is buying the Wild at a low price. Is going to flip them for a higher price later.
Yeah.
It's confusing for me.
It's
confusing for me.
To the moon.
They've got my boy. Matt Zuccarello, arguably the most likable New York Ranger in recent history. He's the fucking man. So, like, I'm behind him. But it's hard when you have all that history to be behind him. But I think I'm still going to buy. I think they're actually going to do... If they can maintain, to use a Star Trek term, if they can maintain current speed and course, I think they'll do well in the playoffs.
I mean, they've only looked sharper as the year's gone on. They've got some pieces back. Their goaltender's good.
And they just beat Vegas.
I mean, they have looked great the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, they really have.
Just looked fantastic.
But like that happens sometimes. You get a team that's like streaky. They have a few good weeks, and then they make it to the playoffs and they just plummet. And I just don't know which team they are yet. Are they the team that's getting like truly hot, or is this just a streak? You know what I mean?
I feel like earlier in the year they were losing by like one goal, though.
I'm leaning more towards streak.
Well,
yeah, I'm not actually, though. That's the thing. Like, I have this weird feeling that it's not a streak. Are they Stanley Cup winners? Probably not. But are they going to make it to the playoffs and do well? I think at this point, yeah. So I would buy on them as well.
In the beginning, they were losing games 1 goal. So
absolutely.
They weren't far off from winning before.
Yeah.
Now they've hit their stride offensively. I think that they're finding their groove and they're doing well.
Part of it might just be me going, it's the Minnesota Wild.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard for me to like believe it given their history. But
they don't have that long of a history.
No, they don't. But if you watch, like, their potential
storied franchise, Meech. What are you talking
about? They're really bad.
I think they came in when I was in high school. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, dude. All right, not to be a dick, but it's been a minute since you got out of high school, bro.
Years, but like that's still not like
right. What I'm saying is like franchise. That's not really what I'm talking about, though. What I'm saying is they have a history of like being streaky. Like they'll look good and then they can't finish. So it's...
Meets anything on not being able to finish?
Hey, be nice to my guy.
Anything on using the same joke over and over again?
If it works. If it ain't broke.
Don't fix it.
Broken
sure.
Fucking record,
and I mean, I would honestly... But like I said, Meech, I'd buy on the Wild. I'm buying on it too. Like I'm in. I'm cautiously in. That's all I'm saying. I'm very cautiously optimistic about the Wild.
I'm just calling it out because I thought it was funny that he said history, and they've been around for like 15 years.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, you're right about that. I'm just saying. That's an interesting... Well, we'll do that later. All right, what's the next team?
Oh, that's it. Oh, no, I had one more. The Tampa Bay Lightning. My bad.
Oh.
I tried to block
them out.
I don't think I'm going to.
They're just so damn good.
Yeah, I think they are starting to find their groove.
But here's the thing, though, guys. Like, they're in a division that is, okay, all the divisions are competitive, sure, but we can all agree that that's the least competitive division. And I don't know. I'm not sold.
Well, even more than Canadian division?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
No. I'm not sold, man. I know who they are and I know the players they have. And I just feel like if they get all the puck luck, yeah, they'll go all the way again. But it's going to take all the puck luck. I feel like there's going to be an upset this year. I just have this weird feeling in my gut, and we've been over this. My gut is no small gut, that it's not going to go their way. So I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to.
I'm not predicting them to win the Stanley Cup, but they are a great team.
They are a good team.
Would sell. Who's not on this list that you created? The Flyers. I just think the Flyers are not that.
No, I think they're frauds too.
Yeah, of course they are. They're coached by Alain Vigneault, and his teams are always fraud teams.
Like, Meech, I almost put them on the list too, but they weren't they didn't have a lot of movement in like the last couple weeks, so that was why
watching them and they're favorited all the time, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
so I should probably start betting.
Frankly, they shouldn't be
opposed to them, but I've watched a fair amount of Flyers games, and they just don't look great to me.
No, not at all. They do the thing that. Sorry, Meech, to cut you off, but they do the thing that all Alain Vigneault teams do, where they go out, they get a couple goals, and then they kind of turtle and try to rely on a really good goalie. And Carter Hart, for a young goalie, looks phenomenal. But
yeah, he actually looks promising.
He looks great, man.
Have as big of a problem with him.
Yeah,
but I feel like they have problems scoring, kind of like the Bruins sometimes, where they have problems scoring.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's also a thing that plagues his teams.
Yeah, before the a couple weeks ago, everyone was saying they got a lot. They, like you said, they had some puck luck because they had less shots on goal and yet had the goals. And so, it's just I don't feel like their offense is good enough to take them into the playoffs. No,
I mean, you could break it down real quick, and this is the team that Boston played in the 2010 Stanley Cup against the Vancouver Canucks. He coached the Canucks, and they had trouble getting it. They had trouble scoring. And if they did score, then they just kind of turtled and leaned on their goalie, and allowed him to face 50-some shots a game. If you allow a goalie to face 50-some shots a game, he's going to fucking give up a few.
Then you'll lose the series and you'll riot and burn your whole city down.
And then same thing happened when he coached the Rangers, he's not a great coach, and it brings you to the whole thing of like the coaching carousel in the NHL. They really need to get new coaches in because these coaches clearly aren't, some of them just aren't worth rehiring. But that's a story for another day.
How do you feel, real quick, how do you feel? I was watching the Knights game. How do you feel about Pete DeBoer as a coach?
The wild boar?
I don't actually dislike him as a coach at all. I just think, and I guess you could say this is the case. This is the case for most coaches, but he only does well with like certain rosters. Like, I don't think, like, he wasn't doing well. I believe it was New Jersey that he coached a long time ago, and actually he did okay. They weren't terrible, but I don't think that was his fault.
He kept the Sharks competitive forever, but I feel like he was not well liked among Sharks fans.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that is true. I know he wasn't well liked pretty much anywhere he's been, and I've never had him on my team as a coach, so I couldn't really tell you why he was disliked, but in my experience, sometimes an unlikable coach is actually the one that wins a lot in the NHL. Mike Keenan, unlikable coach. Joel Quenneville, Chicago, very unlikable coach. Won all those Stanley Cups. You know what I mean? Claude Julien, unlikable coach. But, he has his controversy in Boston, which I understand, but he was still a good coach. So
I won't dispute that.
I don't know. I don't dislike him, but I also don't have any reason to dislike him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, I was watching that game, and it was a great game between the Wild and the Knights, but I was just thinking, I wonder how Birdie feels about Pete DeBoer.
I'm not a DeBoer hater at all. The person that I dislike actively in the NHL there's two. Lindy Ruff, because I don't understand why people think he's a good coach. He's literally been garbage forever. And Peter Laviolette. Lindy Ruff was our defensive coach last year. Look how shit we were defensively last year, and look how good we are this year. And now he's coaching New Jersey. So there you go. And Peter Laviolette, because did you see what Peter Laviolette said the other day?
Peter Laviolette's a fucking clown.
Did you see what he said? It's ridiculous.
Did he say something else?
Oh, yeah. He said, well, I guess if that's a suspendable hit, then hitting should just be done in the NHL. What a fucking asshole. Right?
I hate that they're all defending him.
Me too.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
Me too, but we don't need to rehash this again.
We've already, All right, tons of hockey talk today. We killed it. Let's close the chapter. Good shit, boys.
Yeah, let's move on to the football chapter.
The football, we'll start off with Dak making big money.
Yeah, huge contract, bet on himself, and he won. I mean...
Real quick.
I was really... Go ahead.
Put Papa Dubs on blast. He hates the contract.
Wow. I was really curious to see what Meach thought of the contract because, Meach has often made the point that, without him, they're trash. So I was really curious to hear his thoughts.
I've been on that side with you, Meach. So.
Yeah, me too.
Here's the problem. If they would have signed him because of the way quarterback contracts work in the NFL, it's ridiculous. If they would have signed him when they should have, a year and a half ago, he wouldn't have this big of a contract. The reason he has a bad, quote unquote, bad contract is because the Cowboys didn't re-sign him. Now, you can go two ways with that. You can either say, well, look how that worked out for Goff and look how that worked out for Wentz. Signing them early didn't really save you money because now you have dead money on the cap.
Right.
So it can go either way. They should have signed him, knowing how important he was in their locker room. And like me and Double have said all year, like he bet on himself. And even though he's injured, he only gained value given what that team did after he left.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when it doesn't work out, like that's more the exception, not the rule.
Well, it's interesting because we're just now getting into these new contracts where they're structured and you have to make a decision. And so we've seen a couple examples that really haven't worked, although at the time, one of those was a slam dunk extension, wins. And then the other one, I feel like we were all questioning anyway, which was Goff.
Right. Yeah. No, fair point.
So it depends. it's a bad contract in the sense that he's making the second most money out of all NFL quarterbacks, only second to Patty Mahomes, and he's first in average annual value and guaranteed money right now. So it's a massive deal, and it's kind of on Dallas for not signing it earlier, and that's why it is such a massive deal. That being said, it's a winnable division, and if he gets them there, then they're golden, and this contract looks good.
Yeah,
but if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, which probably won't, it's not a good contract.
Yeah,
and to my point, like people that I said to my point that I said to my dad, if they were to draft a quarterback, they just spent all this money on all these players and set the market on all these positions. Are you going to waste all those max contracts while you develop another quarterback? No. Just go fucking sign the guy that you were successful with at the start of the year. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah, it might blow up in your face, but it's your best fucking chance right now. So, and like you said, Meech, it's a winnable division. So, let's try it.
Exactly. It's a winnable division, and they should be the best team in that division by far. By far. Washington hasn't recently. I mean, we saw Washington's defense. They look like the real deal. That's going to be a problem.
The Giants have a sneaky good defense, too. Their offense just sucks ass.
Yeah, they have a sneaky good defense, but they have a lot of money on the offense to a running back. Are they going to re-sign him? Is Daniel Jones up in the air? It really is their division to lose, honestly. They should have won it last year. They should have won it the year before when we won it. You know, they should have won it 3 years in a row by now, and they haven't. And that's just because the Cowboys suck lately. But
you know, they haven't won a road playoff game since 1992.
Woo! Yeah. I mean, anything that goes back to the Cowboys, I just think, what an idiot. You let Jimmy Jones walk out. Jimmy Johnson, not Jones.
Jim Jones.
Jimmy Johnson walk out the goddamn door. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And ever since it's like the curse of the Billy Goat, dude. Ever since they've been cursed. We'll see how long it goes.
Should have kicked that goddamn goat out.
Fucking goat. So I think it's a good contract, and we saw what he means to this team. They had to get it done. It's not a good contract for them. It's a great contract for him.
Yeah.
And it won't be a good contract if he doesn't win.
Yeah, if he doesn't deliver.
That's where I sit on it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Baby. A couple trades that went down, a couple small ones. We talked about the Titans pick a couple weeks ago that was disgruntled, posted the thing on Twitter, took it down. He got traded to the Dolphins, really for nothing. So Dolphins could potentially get a first-round talent, but they got to sort out the off-field issues there. Titans got I believe, a 7th-round pick back. And the Hoodie made his first move of the offseason. He traded for Trent Brown, who will be returning to the Patriots. We gave up a 5th-rounder in 2022, and we got Brown and a Raiders 2022 7th-rounder. So a couple of small picks to add back a left tackle who was one of the best in the league with us in 2019. We lost Joe Thuney. We'll get to the franchise tags in a minute. So I would love to get another lineman back in there like Brown. Hopefully he can recapture his form that he had with us before.
Yeah, and he restructured his deal too, so he's not even owed that much money.
Yeah, because he left on a big money deal with Oakland, and then it didn't really work out. So hopefully he comes back and shines.
Yeah, I think he cut his salary by like $5 to $6 million a year.
Yeah, it was a significant pay cut.
So, I mean, after this, he is a free agent. But yeah, still a good move anytime you can acquire talent on the line. And we'll see what they do, because them and the 3 or 4 other teams that have significant cap room. Significant cap room.
Caps.
Will have their pick of who they want. And a lot of linemen have been cut. A lot of veteran players that usually people try and add to their younger teams have been cut, and it's gonna be interesting to see what these teams, like I said, the 4 or 5 that have, anywhere from $30 to $60 million in cap room, even with the cap shrinking. So we'll see.
But yeah, let's get to some of the franchise tags. There were, I believe, 7 people that got tagged, 8 maybe. Bears, Allen Robinson. Jacksonville tagged Cam Robinson, offensive tackle. Tampa Bay tags Chris Godwin. Brandon Scherf tagged by Washington. Leonard Williams tagged by the Giants. The Jets tagged safety Marcus May. Carolina tags Taylor Motton, tackle, and Denver tags Justin Simmons. Some notable people that did not get it was John Johnson for the Rams, Kenny Golladay for the Lions, Bud Dupree for the Steelers, which I expected not to happen, Aaron Jones for the Packers, and Joe Thuney for the Pats. So a couple of notable names heading to free agency.
Chris Carson,
that's a good
Griffin, call. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith as well. So like a lot of people who weren't tagged. Now they aren't free agents yet, but the deal, if they do not reach a long-term deal by the free agency period, which I believe is like a week away, they will be free agents.
And most of those names are expected to be free agents.
Right. They're just technically not free agents. Right. They haven't been released. They just didn't get tagged.
I saw whoever leaked the Aaron Jones news or broke the Aaron Jones news said that the Packers were still trying to get a deal done. And I was like, how hard are they trying though?
It would be the stupidest thing for them to sign him.
Right.
They have so many running backs. They wasted a pick on one last year.
Exactly. No point.
You might as well not bring a running back. You shouldn't pay running backs anyway. So we'll see. And then released players, just people that are immediately free agents. Dan Bailey, Carlos Dunlap, Kenny Vaccaro, Malcolm Butler, Emmanuel Thomas, Josh Gordon. Yeah, that Josh Gordon. Greg Olsen, Desmond Trufant, and then finally Kyle Van Noy becomes official today. The team was trying to trade him, even though they had decided to either cut or trade him. They did not, and therefore he has been officially cut. Now we talked about it on the last episode, but yeah, a lot of names on these lists could change some teams.
Couple more people to keep an eye on in the next coming days: Geno Atkins and Von Miller.
Yeah.
Atkins could also become a cap casualty if they're not able to trade him.
Yeah, and there's got to be more than that too, because there's just there's going to be more. So there will be more.
There's cuts. A lot of offensive linemen. Try Turner from the Chargers, former All-Pro. Couple other guards. There's going to be a lot of people that can be picked up and make a difference.
Yeah, I saw like 5 or 6 linemen that were names you would know if you follow the sport. And yeah, they're available. So I didn't write them down because linemen aren't sexy, but yeah.
You gotta make it sexy.
It's hips and nips. Otherwise, I don't eat.
A little rickety cricket for the soul.
Yeah.
Les Miles, Meech.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this situation?
I was a big Les Miles fan at LSU.
You aren't anymore, are you?
No.
Denouncing your former Les Miles fandom?
Yeah.
It's tough to do sometimes, but you gotta keep the image
he was
clean.
just a character, and eating the grass.
He's a character.
His horrible clock management, all that stuff. I kind of endeared me to him when he was the LSU head coach. Find out he's just a creepy old guy.
Yep. I forgot about the video was going around from when he forced that kid to get an autograph from him. Do you remember that?
I don't.
It's like a game day or something. The student's walking by. And he's like, "Hey, you want an autograph?" And the kid's like, "No, I'm all set." He's like, "No, you should really have an autograph." And grabs the hat and signs it. He's like, "Yeah, you're welcome."
Yeah,
somebody posted that. And they're like, I always knew Les Miles could be forceful, but
yeah, apparently offered to take multiple women students at LSU back to his apartment. Wanted a certain type of woman, quote unquote, in the office.
Just creepy old guy shit.
Creepy old guy stuff.
Yep.
That Yeah.
No place
I actually
for
have to take a sexual harassment training that, every company makes you take, this weekend, and that came up, and I was just like, oh God. I wish old creepy guys could stop being old creepy guys so we could stop having to take these sexual harassment courses, but whatever.
That you would think would just be, common sense,
decency,
not being a piece of shit. But
right?
No, you go as slow as your fucked up wheel. But anyway.
Yeah, and it was a little weird because of the way he got fired at LSU, and I expected him to come back, a year later, like most guys do. They come back a year after. He just never came back, and you it was weird. It almost seemed like everyone in the industry knew, but no one said it. And so it was just kind of a weird thing. I mean, his last job was LSU. He then gets hired at Kansas, 10 years later at least. Did you see a weird gap in timing? Also, Jeff Long, the AD at Kansas,
and did you see his response to the original Les Miles claim?
Yeah.
Not great. Definitely should have been fired. I have the quote here. He says, "I am extremely disappointed for our university, fans, and everyone involved with our football program. There's a lot of young talent on this football team, and I have no doubt we'll identify the right individual to lead this program. We will begin the search for a new head coach immediately with an outside firm to assist in this process. We need to win football games, and that's exactly what we're going to do."
Yeah.
That sounds like a statement from a guy you fired for poor performance, not for getting sexual misconduct claims against him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like trying to sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah. And now that guy's gone a couple days later.
Yeah, Jeff Long is gone as well at Kansas. So it's and out of all football, not that it's okay at top schools or anything, but out of all football programs to talk about getting back on winning track, it's Kansas.
You're like the worst team in the Big 12.
They're a basketball school. I don't know. Anyway, not like I said.
Half the people are probably like, they have a football team.
With a football team. I'm just saying, out of all the places to prioritize winning, it's Kansas. No. Change the culture. So, that made me sad. And, just lots of thoughts about that.
Change the culture. All right, well, anything else you want to talk about, boys?
It should be interesting few weeks here. We'll see. Like you mentioned with the NHL offseason, the cap number is going down in the NFL. We'll see.
We're going to have a lot to cover here.
There's going to be some crazy shit coming in the next couple weeks.
Should be a couple. Yeah, exactly. That's basically my preface. It should be a couple.
Might not be so hard to cover sports this offseason as we thought when we started the show. We'll see. All right, well, thanks for...
Episodes might stretch out a little more.
Yeah, thanks for listening to this episode. Follow us on all the socials.
The 5-hour episode of Stone Sports.
Oh my God, guys. Let me do the outro.
Cue the Lou.
Jesus. Follow us on all socials.
You're rude.
I'm coming to Boston soon, and I'm going to whoop your ass. Follow us on all the... Oh my God. I'm not doing it today. Say goodbye. Peace.
I think I'm going to Boston.